What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Fledgling Gamer here, and I'm going to go over my build really quick. So my build is, I call it the Utility Artillery Heavy Bowgun build. The reason I call it that is mainly because of this bowgun right here. So it has, a pretty high attack and negative affinity, which, you might think that the Diablos one is better, and technically it does have more attack. Where is it? It's right here. No. Okay, I know I have it here. It does have more attack, but it only has one augmentation slot, and the shots are pretty lackluster. It does have Wyvern shot, and it has Wyvern snipe, and piercing is okay, but it's actually affected by affinity, so you can get negative affinity hits with it. And sticky and cluster is only level 1. So I was pretty disappointed with the shots on this, even though it is really powerful and you can increase the damage with a non-elemental boost. So it is really powerful, but it's not quite for me. So I went over all the guns, and I took a look at this one right here. It's the Zoro Magdaros, the second, the fully upgraded version of the Zoro Magdaros, the Magda Gemitus 2. And if you look at the sticky and cluster, well, currently because of my armor boost, I have 2 cluster level 2s and cluster level 3s. That's a massive amount of damage. And 4 sticky level 2 and sticky level 3. Sticky level 3 actually does a surprising amount of knockout damage, and that's something I am going to go over soon. This weapon is by far what makes the build so good. Second thing is the armor. So let's take a look at the skills that I have. Currently I have recovery up. I can replace that with bombardier, actually, if I go to set decorations. The only reason I have recovery up is because of the flawless. I have flawless at 3, so that means peak performance at 3. And if you take a look at peak performance, yeah, peak performance is almost as good as just having attack up at 7 points, but it only needs 3 points, and I already have attack up at 7 points, so I can't go any higher, so why not? So what recovery does is it allows me to heal faster so I can get to full HP faster and not have to worry about that. I do have one problem with the build currently, and that is I don't have the second true shot decoration to get my special ammo at 2, to cap it out. I will be replacing the vitality later, and then that'll be my perfect version of the build, this right here. Free element up slash ammo up actually is incredibly useful with this weapon because it allows me to load up 2 cluster level 3. So the reason the weapon is so good with cluster level 3 is because cluster level 3 is not affected by negative affinity. Neither is sticky shot, neither is Wyvern shot, and neither is the Dragon Piercer, which this thing had, or Wyvern Snipe, sorry, which this thing has Wyvern Snipe. So the explosive damage that I do, it's not affected by it. No worries. I do have the artillery charm just to cap out my artillery, and the reason I have that is because artillery is really, really good for sticky shots. I almost call them crag shots because they used to be called crag shots before they got renamed to sticky shots. It just confuses an older hunter like me. But cluster shot is one of the higher damaging skills. But another thing to keep in mind is this also has poison, paralysis, sleep, and exhaust. And all 4 of those are not affected by negative affinity. So it's not like you're going to hit something with a sleep shot and it's going to do less every now and then. That's not the way it works. It's going to be perfectly fine. The sleep shot won't be affected at all. So this is really good for sleep bombing. So in theory, I could set my decorations up like this. Go to bomber, which I need to meld some of those because I got too many. And then just sleep bomb my opponent and do an absolute ton of damage because explosive power is really, really good. Especially when you combine it with the artillery power and the wyvern shot. I do around 500 damage to a sleeping monster with the wyvern shot alone. And then you add bomber on top of that, and that's like 200 per mega barrel bomb. So I do nearly 1,000 damage. Not quite. But I always take a might pill before I use it, so just absolutely destroy the opponent. I do have a video where I was using this build, except the gauntlets were different. The reason I have these is because they have 3 slots, so I can customize it exactly the way I want it. This build is actually not an easy build to get right off the bat. It does require, you know, the true shot, and I need a second one, so it's not complete. And it requires a release decoration in order to get that ammo up all the way. Alternatively, if you do not have the decorations for this, here's what you can do. You can switch this out to the Kaiser chess piece. That does give you 2 regular slots, and then you can switch this out to the Zoro Magdaros gauntlets. And Zoro Magdaros gauntlets give you free element. And as you see before, I was using Divine Blessing with this. Alright, so let's switch those back really quick. And, yep, looks good. So, set decorations. Go back to medicine. I like it better with medicine because it's just better overall. I mean, granted I don't get as much damage, but I have 30% for one instance as opposed to that 20 bonus attack for pretty much the whole time. So it's, I don't know which one is exactly better, but that's just the way I decided to play it. Alright, medicine. So I have medicine maxed out. Yeah, so health boost will disappear and a special ammo boost will be added in the future, but this is the build. It uses the Rathalos Helm B, the Dober Mail B, Valhazak Braces B, Nergigante Coil B, Kirin Leg Guards B, and the Magda Gemitos 2. So, before I beat the game, before I beat the final boss, it was at Magda Gemitus 1, or the first one, and I was able to defeat the final boss with this weapon. It did take a little finagling, and I used Wyvern Snipe every chance I got, but I was able to beat it. One unfortunate thing about this weapon is it is not affected by elemental attack up. So the way you check on a bowgun is by looking at the ammunition. See capacity at the bottom, it says flaming ammo and dragon ammo. If you have flaming ammo or water ammo or freeze or thunder or dragon, just one of them will mean that you can't get the buff from it. There is, however, a heavy bowgun that can get the buff from it that is not suffering from negative affinity, and that would be the power shooter. It's not as powerful, so I mean it's kind of like an equalizer, but it does fire spread shot level 2, and it's pretty consistent with how it is, and all it is just fully upgraded bone tree, and it has slicing ammo. So slicing ammo used to be amazing, so this gun would have been good, but it's not as good as it could be. So this is my artillery utility heavy bowgun build. It's actually one of my favorite builds. It does take a lot with the items, so if I go to manage items, I have these in my items 100% of the time. Okay, I always keep sticky ammo level 1 and cluster bomb level 1, even though I can't shoot them. I can still combine them with gunpowder level 3 in the field to make exactly what I want and just wail on the target. So I think I'm going to go ahead and fight something really quick. I mean, I did capture that Diablos earlier with this set and broke the horns pretty much instantly. And I do actually have another video where I do that, so maybe I'll just show you that. It doesn't have the gauntlets. I actually had a different pair of gauntlets, and the reason for that was it was before I got the flawless decorations, and I got the Anjanath gauntlets because they have special ammo boost 1, and I had the other decoration that gave me the true shot decoration that maxed that out. So that is one thing to keep in mind. I am gonna try and throw this into mixed build. I know it's a very basic attack up, peak performance, artillery. It's very basic as far as this goes, but one thing I do want to point out is on my gun I have 3 shields, because the shield on the heavy bowgun is pretty amazing. Like, I don't know if you know about this, but if you're aiming or standing still towards where you're going to get attacked from, you block it so long as you're not shooting. Unless, of course, you're using cluster bombs, then you won't block it because you have to assume the position. Anyway. So let's go to post a quest. Let's go to one of my investigations, and I wonder which one I should. Let's do a Kirin Hunt. That should be a good tester of this. Let's start at 12. Yes. And I actually need to switch to a different item set because I have the sniper and then the sniper elder dragon item set. So manage items, press start, go to sniper ED, and what this basically does is it gets rid of all the traps, it adds an extra set of bombs, and it also gets rid of the exhaust and the tranks. Oh, I don't have the exhaust in this one. Exhaust is in that one, but it gets rid of the tranks because those are completely useless for elder dragons. And it does add null berries, because null berries are really, really useful. Alright, so most of the time when I'm fighting the Kirin, I just go for Wyvern Shot. I never use Wyvern Snipe against the Kirin, because it's not very useful. It's very situational. And I have -1 thunder, but that's not the end of the world. I should be able to defeat it pretty easily. I'll probably post this and have to cut out some parts where I'm just going, and, so I'm sorry about that. But, I got a beer bottle in the way. Give me a sec. There we go. I just gotta get his attention. Alright, let's start off with Wyvern Shot. Yes. Oh, apparently I hit him. Wow, okay. Ah. Wow, okay. This is a bad run. There we go. Let's see about knocking him out. See, once it goes off, it really goes off. See, he's knocked out. Yeah. Ooh. Damn. Okay. Alright, let's put this guy to sleep. Alright, let's throw up some demon powder. Might seed. Bombs. White pill. And kaboom. That was a dud. But he's getting pretty close. See, the horn just broke. This is the power of this heavy bow gun. Now, unfortunately, with the Kirin, I can't show me paralyzing it and then just wailing it on it from there. But otherwise, this is a pretty good monster to show off the Wyvern shots. Yeah, let's load everything back up. Okay. I think that's... yeah, that's it. Alright, so... gotta love those wedge beetles, man. Like, when you get it, you really get it. Alright, so this is the one thing I haven't set up yet is the mega barrel bombs. But I did save one Wyvern shot for the mega barrel bombs, so I'm able to do that. If I didn't have a Wyvern shot, I'd just use a cluster bomb. Make sure I set off the bombs first. Ooh-wee. He's mad. Alright, let's use sticky level 3. And just take our time. No need to rush. Alright. And I think he's gonna die really soon. There we go. And that was it. I mean, that's not so hard. I know, you know, something else might be stronger. But this has a lot of utility with it. And having the attack with the utility is really a powerhouse of options, you know? So this is it. I mean, right now I have 392 attack. This setup is a lot of fun, and I would recommend it for anyone who's end game level, because I can solo any monster with this set. Not just, you know, the Kirin or anything like that. Like I said, one of the biggest factors of this is Wyvern Snipe. So the longer monsters like Basilgoss, this just absolutely destroys. And, you know, the Urigan, the Valhazak, it just, they don't stand a chance against you. You just freaking waste them. Obviously, I do change some of my decorations for different monsters, but that's about it. Don't care. Alright, so this was a lot of fun. I finally maxed out my Kirin, so I have every single monster fully maxed out now, so yeah! That's a cool thing! But anyways, I'm going to call it here. That's my artillery utility heavy bowgun, or utility artillery. I'm not sure exactly which order I want to say that in. I want to say artillery utility or utility artillery. I don't know. One thing I will mention is are actually affected by the artillery skill. I think it's just crag shots and Wyvern shots. So that is one thing you want to keep in mind. Artillery is really good, but it's not going to affect your clusters. That's why you want the attack and the peak performance, and just waste them. Anyways, that'll be it. Enjoy, and I hope to see this on Mixed Set Monday in the near future. It was a lot of fun building it, and I have a lot of fun using it. One of the things about this is I don't use weakness exploit because there is no reason to have critical hits on this build. It's all about the raw damage with explosions, and explosions are not affected by affinity. So that's it, and enjoy.